Slow night. Ooh, it's getting on toward that time, isn't it? Holidays and all that. Man, hello from Nassau, Bahamas. Good grief. That's it. That's it. Just rub it in. Nassau, Bahamas. Let's see here. Eddie, Tompkinsville, Kentucky. I wanted to come see you today, but we had to do some other stuff. Eddie, you're on your honeymoon. Justin, I'll probably call you in the next couple of days. Maybe come up there Friday and see if you're going to be around. I'm learning to love all inclusive. Yeah. Well, that's what we call a honeymoon, Eddie. That's called a honeymoon. It lasts for, well, it depends on people usually, but I'm 43 years into this honeymoon I'm in, so I don't know. I can only wish that hey, Jen Simpson, what's up? Jen, tomorrow, I'm gonna I'm gonna mail this thing tomorrow. I've been looking for something to put in it. I will stand by and wait on you. Well, thank you. I'll try to drag Ricky over there kind of early in the day. Jen, I'm trying to find something to go with it, but I can't find anything. And I'm afraid if I leave it on my desk, it's going to get messed up, and I don't want that. But I followed your trip to Chicago, and all I got to say is you have more fun in Chicago in 3 days than I have in 30 years. So congratulations on that. I think that's great. I love that. Let's see. And talking to and I don't know if he's on here tonight. I just hung up talking to him a few minutes ago. But I was talking to our old buddy. Sure. No, really. No, I'm serious. No, really. Look into my eyes. See truth written there? Hey, Bella. I hadn't seen you in a blue moon. I was talking to my old buddy Sparky Anderson one day. This is about a year ago. And sometimes, if he's trucking or we're just out driving around, sometimes we just talk. I was drunk for most of it. I get it. That's the urge I get when I go to Chicago too. Is, geez, God, I wish I was drunk. But anyway, gotta see who's who. Oh, that's Nicole. What's up? What's up, Nicole? Talking to Sparky, and this is about a year ago. I've been chilling around with Shaggy too much lately. God, are you okay? Are you all right? I know what hanging around with him is like. Anyway, talking to Sparky, and here's what he said. And this is about a year ago, give or take, but probably about a year. He said, I'm afraid the way this thing's going with the spot market and all. He goes, if you're not already in a sweet spot somewhere, if you're not already in a groove and hooked in with some people to keep you busy, then might be too late, because this is going to take the spot market's going to take a hard dip, and if you're in it, you're going to go with it. And so many people went out and bought really expensive trucks and trailers and all this other stuff to ride the wave. Kit, what's up, brother? Kit, you need to tell us about the Tim Ford DC. I was gone most of the weekend and I didn't get to follow a whole lot of it. But I saw you guys had a hell of an event, and it looks like you guys really had a good time. 2008, 2018, all over again. But talking to Sparky, He made a good point. He pretty much always does. Um, that if you're not already locked in, if you're not already in a groove, um, it's going to be hard. And all these people that bought this expensive equipment, all these trucks and trailers, and while the spot market was booming, and it was booming there for 2 years, hard. Um, Somebody's saying hello, Frank and Kit. That's Mark Davis. What up, Mark? Haven't seen you on here for a while. So if you weren't already in a groove, and by that I mean, hooked in with some regular direct customers that keep you busy, hooked in with some brokers, doing dedicated stuff for them, or at least having, a really, really good relationship. Always, I have more overseas drivers talk and check the truck out more than any year. So if you're not in one of those grooves, if you're not in a spot where, you're doing consistent work and it's good work and it keeps the bills paid and all that, then it's going to be tough. And I don't know very many people. I don't know very many people when it gets like it is right now, that can get from one into the other. I mean, it's hard to do, especially if you load it up with overhead and you load it up with, a bunch of stuff that, it was easy to pay for 2 years ago, but now it's kind of hard. And, unless you really worked your ass off and paid everything off and do that. But, Shaggy and I get on here and I he does his thing and I do mine. And everybody that knows us knows that. He's my friend. He has been for years and years. But I saw him today. He does his morning talk shows. How are folks surviving the spot market? It's almost impossible now. That's what I'm getting to. For a long time, we've been preaching, get off of those load boards, get off them. Get out there, find yourself some direct freight, find yourself some customers. And I even know one guy, and I know him pretty well, and he's got 5 trucks and 7 trailers, and he suspended his authority and leased onto a bigger company. And here's why he did it. They've got regular freight. They pay their bills every Friday. They got fuel cards. They get good discounts. They got cheap insurance. All the stuff that he's been trying to do for a couple of years, they're already there. So he pays them a percentage, runs under their authority, and they've already got freight, and they've been keeping him busy. And I want to tell you something, and I mean this from the bottom of my cold, hard heart, okay? That's nothing. Making good decisions is never something to be embarrassed about. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you came up short. It doesn't mean you weren't good at it. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that in this business, just like any other business, you made some decisions and you took some action to keep yourself in business and keep the boat afloat and keep things going, while it's tough on the spot market. So I don't like the spot market. I talk about that every week. I don't like it. It's shit freight. You're dealing with cutthroat brokers over there, and it's all for the benefit of everybody but you. So some of the sweet spots in this group, I don't know if she's here tonight. Mara, Mara's been around in the group from the get-go, and she just came off of doing entertainment tours, and she'd probably go back on them, but she does that every year, and she makes enough money doing that for the rest of the year she can afford to. I'm leased on and it's bad. It's no way an authority could survive. Yeah, I get it. Depends on who you're leased to. There's guys out there. There's companies out there that are running their ass off, and try. I use this example every time, and I'm serious. Try to find a spot, a parking spot in a truck stop after 3 or 4 o'clock. There's trucks out there running freight A lot of trucks are out there running freight. So it depends on who you're leased to. I have some ideas about that. If you'd like to hear them, I'm glad to blurt them out there. But, um, right now, there's other people, other talking heads on social media and a couple of groups on Facebook that when the boom was happening in the spot market, they had all this advice, yeah, you don't want a relationship with a broker. They'll just screw you. Go get them, tear their ass up, And now that it's turned, now that the worm has turned, and guys, I've been doing this all my life. It always happens this way. It'll go up, it'll go down. Ricky Davis and I was at the shop today. We've been talking about this for years and years. And when the spot market was booming, 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 Ricky and I sit there and go, damn, man, the spot market is booming. And yeah. And Ricky goes, yeah. And it'll come back to earth. It always does. And it did. And it did. And it's staying that way. So, Mara went out and did the entertainment thing, and she'll probably go back into it, or she'll find other things to do. But she makes enough money every year doing that she can do other things. Jess is out there, and she's hauling for one national broker that keeps her in the same lanes and keeps her loaded all the time. And she's been doing it for years. That's her sweet spot. That is a sweet spot for her to be in. Sparky's got his accounts, plus he opens the door to other things at the same time, and he'll buy another truck. He bought two, and he put them on this other project, but he stays in sweet spots. He goes from one to the other, and he's got one, call it what you want to, a honey hole, and he stays in that all the time and then builds from there. Okay. Jason and Jennifer, Team Husky, I love them. I love those guys. I mean, I love them as friends and business people too. And, they were doing dry freight, and they had customers, and they were running the spot market and doing this and that. And when things started to slow down, when things started to go cold, Jason had hauled cattle for years and years before, and he just laughed and he said, you know what? I can always go back to hauling cattle. I love it anyway. That's what they do now. And they're doing very, very well, hauling cattle. They make adjustments, move back into their sweet spot, and they're just sitting right there. And none of this stuff on the spot market, on the load boards, has any effect on any of these people. So when I see people on social media all day, every day, and they're mad about this and they're upset about that, and they hate the brokers. They didn't hate them a year and a half ago, but they hate them now. They hate everybody's stealing from them. We got to have transparency. Well, we got to manage these people. We got to do all that. When I see that kind of stuff going on, and I look around me at most of my friends who have found a sweet spot and just settled into that spot, this spot market shit doesn't have any effect on them. They don't even think about it. They don't even care about it. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. And I don't think, I don't think that keeping on and on, and I've said this for years, this is not a new thing. If you're living on the load boards, good luck. Good luck. You look around and you see people going out of business. The company up in North Dakota that went under this past week had been in business for 40 years. 40 years. And they went under. And they had a trucking company and they had a brokerage. And I'm not sure, having been both for a long, long time, I'm really not sure if you've got decent customers that pay their bills, exactly how to go broke. Most of the brokers I know that have gone broke went broke because they have one main customer that went broke and stopped paying them, and put them in bankruptcy because they still got to pay the carriers. And that might go on for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, before all that stuff accumulates and hits the fan. And all of a sudden, you're right in the middle of it. You didn't see it coming, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks. So, that's the only way I can think of a broker going broke, because they don't have they don't have that fixed income and that fixed cost that trucking companies have. They don't have it. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight was getting in a sweet spot, staying there, getting in that groove, sitting there. I mean, are you going to make 10 grand a week? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on what kind of groove you're in. Who you're hauling for, what you're doing, what you're willing to do. I've seen some people get out there and they complain about how bad it is, but they won't do anything extra. Well, I've been doing this 23 years. I ain't going to run every weekend. Okay, well then don't. When the market changes and moves around like it's been doing, this past year, when it starts doing that, if you're not willing to adjust to it, if you're not willing to make some changes, you're not going to be here. And that's fine. If that's what you want, that's fine. But don't get on Facebook and YouTube and don't call me on the phone and complain about it. I don't want to hear it. We talk about it all the time, and it's not outside of anybody's reach to make those changes, to make those adjustments. It's not hard to do. So it's not going to come to you. Nobody owes you anything, and they're not going to do it. The government damn sure isn't going to help you. I don't know if you think about this much or not, but we're seeing some very, very bad things going on in the world right now. And I'm old enough to have seen it before and been through it before. And it never makes it any better. It never makes you feel any better about it, having been through it before. We'll get through this. But have you ever considered that if the United States got into trouble like some of these other countries in the world, that nobody's coming to our rescue? There's nobody there. China's not going to rescue us. Russia's not going to rescue us. The countries in the Middle East damn sure are not going to rescue us. It's just us. When the rest of the world gets in trouble, we go rescue them, send them billions of dollars, send them freight, feed them, do whatever we need to do or whatever they need to do to keep the whole thing churning, the whole world going. We don't have Big Brother. Even the government that's supposed to work for us won't do it. They won't come to your aid unless you're a bank. They'll bail you out if you're a bank. Or if you're one of the top 3 car builders, they'll bail you out. But little Frank and my family and you and your family, they're not the cavalry waiting over the hill to come and save you. They're not going to save you. They don't even know who you are. So I didn't want to come on tonight and be all doom and gloom. I wanted to come on to say, I know a lot of people, a lot of people that are in a groove, that are in business, that are doing very well right now. I know companies that are growing. I know companies that are adding equipment. I know companies that are hiring drivers. So there are people out there that are in a groove and they're doing well. And the people that are living on the spot market are not. They are not. And you get up some mornings and I flip on the computer and some guy will get on there. Gee, it looks like the market's finally starting to break loose. My market hasn't changed in years, and yours shouldn't either. Oh, well, these guys are really screwing us coming out of California. I get the same rates coming out of California this year. Hey, Candace, what's up? I get the same rates coming out of California this time of year that I got last year and the year before. The only difference is my fuel surcharge changes every week. So, if we need to talk about those things, let's do it. Send me a note, send me a message, and we'll spend an hour talking about it. And I don't mind at all. I don't mind it one bit. But there are places to be out there. There are grooves to be in that will make you a living, and you'll do just fine. Those places are going to be there. Autonomous trucks can't do it. The mega carriers cannot and will not do it. But there again, I'm going to say it one more time. If you're sitting there waiting on it to come to you, if I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to run an extra hour. I'm just not going to do it. Okay, well, okay. I think, I've said this about 1 million times. I'll say it one more. I think in the United States of America, people should be free to do anything they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt another person. So if you want to plant your feet and be Mr. I'm not going to change, the world has to change and come to me, you're not going to be here. I mean, not in this business. You're not going to be around. That's literally what we make our living doing. It is. We make our living doing things that other people can't do or won't do. You know, we the small companies and the medium-sized companies have for years and years and years and years, ever since I've been around, we operate in the gray areas. We do things that the mega carriers can't do or won't do. And that's where we live. And that's where we breathe. And I don't know about you, but I like it. I like it there. I like it there. I like that I don't have to compete, with a guy with 7,000 trucks. I like that, I don't have to compete with people that have to agree to haul, 312 loads a week to the Northeast. I like that. I like being in the position that I'm in. I like the business that we're in. So, I'm going to keep it short tonight. There are not very many people here, and I guess people come in and say hi, and I appreciate that, but it's really not worth a fuck for me to sit here and talk for an hour when there's nobody here. Adapt and overcome, absolutely, and that's who we are. That's the business that we're in. We do things differently than those other people. But if you've got that, I'm not going to change. These brokers are fucking me. If you're that guy, you're not going to be here. You're not going to be around. And I'm okay with that if you are. I mean, I hate to see it. I hate to see that kind of attitude. I hate to hear that kind of talk because it always turns into blaming somebody else for your, problems. It always turns into it's everybody else's fault, for your problems. And I'll just tell you that. Excuse me. I would just tell you that if you're not running, if you're too cool or too smart or too tough to run up to New York, good. Don't go. I will. I'll go. There's no such thing as a bad load, just a bad rate. I'll go. Pay me and I'll go. Hold on. Sorry. Hello? I'm right in the middle of my show right now. Tonight. From where? I'm sitting here talking to a bunch of people. Anyway, I don't get that attitude. I never have. I don't like it. I don't want to be around people like that. They bore me, all this whining, crying shit. And, well, I'm not going to do this. They're screwing me out. All right. He's talking, these people are talking about a broker on the load board that's not paying them what they feel like they're worth. Like that's a shock, surprise. Like that's some revelation that you've just come across. Are you kidding me? There's so much work out there. Just today, I talked to 2 different customers today that are looking for trucks, and I'm going to get them some because that's what I do. But these guys that are sitting around out there blaming the brokers and blaming the government and blaming this and blaming the mega carriers, I mean, those people are not going to make it. And I don't want to be around them. I don't want to hear it anymore. I just turn stuff off and let them do what they do. Mara, we've been talking about you. I was talking about you and you weren't here. So you're going to have to replay it because I'm not going to repeat myself talking about you. I was telling everybody about getting in a groove, about finding a sweet spot and how you went out and hauled entertainment. And that's a sweet spot. That's a groove. That's a cool place to be. And the whole time you were doing that, the whole time you were doing that work, you really didn't give a shit what the spot market was doing or not. You were busy. You were making money. You didn't care. So that's my point, guys. That's where I'm coming from. Find a sweet spot. If you need some ideas, if you need some suggestions, I'll be glad to try to help. I'm not telling you that I can put your truck to work tomorrow. I'm pretty full. I stay pretty full. I like it that way. That's a good problem to have. But I'll help you. I'll call around. Well, got to go. Love what you do, but reservations at the steakhouse. I'll listen on YouTube later. Well, enjoy the steakhouse. I know I will. It carries me the rest of the year. Yeah, exactly. Eddie's on his honeymoon. Eddie, we want to get you on here as a guest on here one night, and we want us to tell you everything about your honeymoon. I even know that your wife got her name changed today. Yeah, I know that. Anyway, that's what we're talking about, guys. We're talking about getting in a groove. We're talking about, so finding that sweet spot. Even if that sweet spot happens to be a broker that's got a shit ton of freight, because that freight that they give you because of your relationship is not freight that you're going to find on the load boards. It's not going to be on DAT. They don't put it there. I don't put it there. I move 40 loads a day. I don't use DAT. I can't even remember last time I even logged on to DAT just to see what was going on, just for curiosity. In fact, I don't think I even have a log. I think my log on expired. But there's a whole world of freight out there, a whole world of freight out there that doesn't have anything to do with the spot market. That's not even, I'm eating Mexican food and drinking Coronas at Belleville, Kansas, and I've got you on. Well, you got me on because you've got me on because I meet people and don't like them. My son's like that too. When he first meets somebody, he doesn't like them. I'll go, "What'd you think of that guy?" I don't know. And 6 months later, he go, "Yeah, he's okay. He's a good dude. He's a good dude." So you're right. First time I met you, I liked it. So I'm glad you're eating Mexican food and drinking margaritas and listening to old ass me. But tonight's about a sweet spot. Tonight's about finding your place in the sun. Tonight's about getting in that groove that will make you money for years. Okay, it's not. I've been doing this contract I'm on. This is our 22nd year, 22 years, and that kind of work is out there. It's there. It's all over the place. Like I said, try finding a parking place after 4:00. You're not gonna. Probably earlier than that. But it's all out there. You just have to go get it. Doing crane moves this week, local. Yeah. We were talking about Jason and Jennifer doing their, switching over from reefer and dry freight to pulling cattle, and they're jamming. They took a week and a half off and went up to Sturgis, rode their motorcycles, hung out, did this and that. We're going to Daytona together. I mean, they're just, when one thing changed, they moved to another. They found a different sweet spot, and it's working. But if all you do every day, I've said this a million times, I'm even tired of saying it. If all you do is get up in the morning and flip on that and think you're going to make a living, you're not. The people on the other end of that will. The brokers will, but you won't. You won't. You won't. Unless you can run a truck for 90 cents a mile. I don't know anybody can do that. I can't. So, if I can help with that, if we need to talk about that, I'll be glad to do that. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. And I'm watching these people struggle, and I'm watching these people get frustrated. I hate to see people losing their ass because of this. I hate it. My point that I'm trying to make, and the thing I'm trying to tell you, is it's a good news, bad news thing, right? The good news is you don't have to. The good news is you don't have to go broke. The good news is you don't have to struggle. The good news is you don't have to kill yourself. You might have to make some adjustments. You might have to make a few changes. That's the business. We're in the trucking business. Sometimes there's construction or a bad wreck and you have to take a different road. Get it? Sometimes you have a customer go out of business and you have to go get another one. Sometimes a contract ends and you have to get a new contract. Okay? I mean, it happens all the time. But if you think flipping on that and being one of these, yeah, we want freedom. We're freedom fighters and we want these brokers regulated. You're not a freedom fighter. You're a socialist. Plain and simple. Yeah, I said that. I said that. You're a pussy and you don't understand the business. I do both ends. I run trucks and I run a brokerage. And I will say what I will say. So, if you're one of those people that blames everybody else and you want the government to step in and regulate our business more, you're an asshole and you're doing more damage to this business than you can imagine. And the only reason you're doing it is because you're lazy, entitled, and stupid. How's that? Lazy, entitled, and stupid. This business doesn't owe you anything. This world doesn't owe you anything. If your mama told you that, she lied. You got to go out there and make adjustments, adapt and overcome. You got to go get it. If you're not willing to do that, this is not the right business for you. It's not. You need to just shut it down and open up a pizza joint. It's cheap. You can, there's a guy here in town that opened up a pizza joint. He borrowed 20 grand from his mother. She's in the restaurant business. He borrowed 20 grand and he opened up a pizza joint. He now has 5. And they are booming. They are booming. You call Thursday, Friday, Saturday night and try to get a pizza for pickup, it's 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, he is, and they're good. His pizzas are really, really good. So, try maybe do that. Maybe get into the business of, I don't know what, cleaning houses. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't only know this business, and I'm pretty good at it. That's about it. I'm kind of like a one-trick pony. But I know that, sitting there and complaining and blaming everybody else is not going to get you to the other end of the road. It's not going to get there. And I'm so tired of it. When I flip on social media and I see this every day, well, we're just, I'm tired now. I'm sick of it. I'm going to go home for a week. Okay, go. Take a month. Good luck to you. Anyway, that was my big thing for tonight. I'm going to keep it short tonight. And I appreciate everybody coming by and saying hi. I do appreciate it. I love this group. I do, or I wouldn't sit here on Tuesday nights and do this. I'm trying to get back into my roots. I'm going to build another truck for myself. I haven't decided what yet. I really haven't made up my mind. I can tell you this. It probably won't be a big hood Peterbilt. Probably won't. Been there, done that, over and over and over. I've had 20 of them and they're great and I love them. It probably won't. It'll probably be something really weird that you just don't see very often because I like that. It'll probably be something kind of different. I don't know what that might be. I haven't made up my mind yet. It won't be a cab over. I'll tell you that. Those cab overs are the reason I limp now. I did my time in those. Won't be a cab over. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions. I'm open to that. I just don't know what I want to do yet. I don't know what I want to build for myself yet. Like I said before, if somebody throws money at me, I will run to New York. Boston. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Chicago, been up there a billion times. I actually know my way around Chicago pretty well. I'm like everybody else. If all I ever had to do was, here in Nashville, jump in the truck and run to California and back on Interstate 40 and do back and forth, I can do that too. It just doesn't pay anything anymore. Running freight for as cheap as customers are even here. There's a customer here, Snap-on, and they move about 8 loads a week from Nashville to Los Angeles, and I know the guy. I run into him all the time. Bubba, I got these people calling me. Let me tell you, Bubba, let me tell you, I've had a Coronado. I don't want another one. Been there, done that. I loved it. I love that truck, but I don't want to know one. Uh, anyway, I run into this guy. He's a shipper, and his loads weigh about 34,000 pounds, and they run from right here, dry freight, runs from here in Nashville to City of Industry, unload. And he goes, I got to tell you, Bubba, I got these guys calling me, these brokers and stuff, and you know, hell, they ain't nowhere near $2 a mile. I mean, I'm really looking, trying to, I need to be around $1.50. I'm not going to move that asshole's freight for him. Somebody is, because he's getting it moved, but it ain't me, and it's never going to be me. But every time I see that guy, I think, you son of a bitch. You know what? Keep your shit. I don't need it. But he's a big shot because, well, I'm a shipper, He's the dumbest fuck that ever shit between two shoes. And I ain't moving any shit for him. Anyway, that was kind of really what I wanted to talk about tonight, was finding your sweet spot, getting in that sweet spot and kind of settling in and, getting in that groove and it feels really good and you're making good money and you're getting some home time and spending, some time in Belize and like somebody we know, and you're doing stuff like that and it's good, and that's where you need to be. And all these people that you see on social media, that's where they need to be. I'm a broker too, and we use the same trucking companies every day. And we don't put anything on that. We don't need to. Never have to. What does that tell you? I mean, seriously, think about that. What does that tell you? We move 40 loads a day. I don't put it on DAT. Never have, never will. I don't want somebody I don't know pulling my trailers, because we have to use my trailers. I don't want them pulling my trailers and hauling my customers' freight for them. I don't want them doing that. Too much trust involved there, and I don't have it unless I know you. But there's some really, really sweet grooves to be in out there. There really are. Is it running exactly where you want to go? Maybe, maybe not. What are you in business to do? Are you a tourist or a truck driver? See what I'm saying? I mean, but that's where I see this industry right now. It's full of people that think it's going to come to them and fall on them. Those people are going to go away. They're not going to be here. They're not going to be here. And those of us that can move around and make shit work and make shit happen, we've been here for 100 years. We'll be here for 100 more. We might all be driving, electric trucks and shit, but we'll be here. I might buy one of them. What do you think of that? I'm looking for a new truck for me, a new toy, so I can get on the road a little bit. Maybe I'll get one of those electric trucks. One of those, who makes those? Tesla? Kind of cool looking. I wonder if they got a refrigerator and a TV, because I like HBO. Yeah, electric truck with HBO. That's what I want. I'll take my dog too. He likes to go. He likes to sniff stuff and pee on stuff. He likes to poop in new places all the time. I love that. He's happy and I'm happy, and but I'm gonna build a new truck. I just want to find something laid back or nothing. Well, when I first started driving, I had to run New York all the time because my dad owned the company and I was the new kid. And he was damn sure not going to show any favoritism. He was going to make sure of it. So I ran to New York every week for years. New York, Baltimore, Boston, Providence, Rhode Island. That was my thing. And when I finally got enough seniority that I could start running west a little bit, his idea of running me west was Chicago, shit like that. I can't wait till all the COVID money truckers are gone. No kidding. And it's not just trucking. Our favorite steak joint down the street, they haven't had a full staff in 3 years. You go over there, they got 30 people, 40 people sitting out there waiting for a seat because they got nobody working there. I just order my shit to go and bring it home. I don't need people to wait on me. If you're not willing to move around, if you're not willing to do, different things, I'm not going to use the term something you don't like. I like it when I'm making money. Do I like the traffic, and the tolls and the fuel prices on the Northeast? No, I don't like them. But I charge customers a shit ton of money to go over there and they pay me. I like that. You know, what I do like about it is I can make a trip over there and I can make about the same money in 3.5 days that most people make in 6 days running to California and back. Less work, less wear and tear on my truck, more time at home. It ain't bad. Not necessarily easy, just not pressured to run my ass off. I'm too old for that. Me too. I don't want to. I want to, I want to be in the groove. That's what I want everybody to get in. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I wanted to talk about getting in that sweet spot, getting in that groove, and just laying up in there and making it work for you. You know, people that have $3,000 a month truck payments. That truck's not working for you. You're working for that truck. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. You know, how many miles do you do for a day? Hello, Frank. Hey, Cindy. What do you mean? How many miles when I'm driving a truck? How many miles do I do per day? Depends on where I go. We've got a dry freight customer here that runs up to Minnesota and back, and it's 837 miles door to door up there. I can do that. I can do that in 24 hours. You know, I'll go up there and unload. Oh, driving the truck. You know, I don't know. I can't sleep 10 hours. I don't know anybody that can, but I can't. About 5.5 hours, and I'm awake. I get up, take a shower, try to find something to eat, something like that, and I still got 2 hours left. So I pretty much go. Expedited straight truck may be fun to build. I hadn't thought about that. Huh? That's a thought. Making money, baby. That's right. Um, Cindy, to answer your question, it just depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing. If I run up and down the East Coast, it's a lot. Speed limits are lower and it's a lot more crowded, and there's just a lot of congestion and this and that. So I don't get 600 or 700 miles a day usually when I run over there. But what I try to do, I'm kind of a vampire slash hoot owl. I run a lot at night. I like to run at night, and so I still get my miles in. It's not unusual if I'm running the East Coast. Uh, it's not unusual for me to get from here to New York and back in 3 days. And I live in Nashville, so that's what I try to do. I got this week and next week already planned out. I have no doubt. I mean, when do you not really have it all planned out? I got a high hand. All right. Oh, Cindy say, I'm a lucky trucker's wife. Hubby drives over 580 miles a day, but home every day. He's so tired by Wednesday, he likes night driving. We're in Northeast PA. I bet. Well, 580 miles a day and home every day. That's pretty tough. We got a little run here that we used to do all the time, and we still do some, but we used to do it like 10 trips a week. And it's much from Nashville to just above Louisville. And it's right at 200 miles. And so you go up there, you load, you go up there, you unload, you reload, you turn around, you come back. And I got to tell you, that's, like you say, by Wednesday or Thursday, you're tired. You're getting tired. So it's hard to do. It's actually easier for me if I get in the truck and go to Minnesota back. He does shuttles. Oh, that's a good gig. It's actually easier for me to run up to Minnesota and back, and I do that. I'll do that in about 3.5 days. 1,600 and almost 1,700 miles. But I'm only unloading and reloading one time in 3.5 days. So I'm not bumping docks, swapping trailers, all that stuff. I'm just steadily going. It's a different animal. It's a different thing. When I used to run the West Coast a lot, it was not unusual for me to run 800 miles a day. In fact, I usually ran a little more than that. But I would go out, unload, and I would have to spend the night there because my dad had kept motel rooms. He made us take a night off. I'd spend the night, get up the next morning, start loading my produce, and I'd turn around and come straight back. Those were different times. I mean, those were different. I was a lot younger. Uh, those were different times. We ran a whole lot differently back then. So, the expectation doing that from my dad was 800 miles, 900 miles a day. That's what he expected. Dropped in Arkansas this morning, just got picked up in Missouri, going back to Georgia tomorrow. Yeah. What is that? What are you talking? What are you talking? Hold on a second. Nick, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? About 600 miles a day? Is that what you're doing? Because that's loading and unloading. That's good. Cindy Chase say, just wish all would have respect for the trucker. Peeps just don't understand their life, the bullshit they go through. Yeah, I get it. I don't hang around with people that don't respect other people. I don't care if you're a truck driver or janitor or the president of a company. I run 500 to 700 a day. Yeah, that's about right, really. Anyway, Cindy, I get it, but I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those, oh, poor me, I'm a truck driver and nobody loves me kind of guys. All the people I know in trucking, and the people that you'll find on this page, we all know each other and respect each other. So, all that crybaby shit, they don't love me. Nah, we don't care about that. I don't give a shit. And I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm not trying to be mean. And I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. Will you be meeting up with the G's soon? I don't know. I don't know. Gerald, he comes and goes through here quite a bit. They've been doing a pretty steady thing, from Kansas back and forth, and probably. I mean, sometimes he calls when he comes through if he has time. Truck drivers, I used to have a steady run every night. Our company did over to North Carolina and back. It was a dedicated run, and I ran about 30 miles from 3 of my cousins. I never called them and told them I was coming because when you're trucking, you're busy. You're working. You're busy. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he will. I talked to him yesterday on the phone. We talk a lot. We're friends. I consider Gerald a very good friend. Have for a long, long time. Way back before all this convoy and all that stuff. I've known Gerald for a long, long time. Him and Mary. I consider them good friends. They are welcome in my home, and I am there. Will you be driving tomorrow? I will not. I don't drive a whole lot anymore. I'm old. Over 600 is tough. Mara Miller scares me. Don't cross that little firecracker. You're scared of Mara? God, how could anybody? How could Todd? Oh, Todd is here. Hey, Todd, how did your Tim 4 go? There wasn't a whole lot of social media stuff about it this year. I mean, did you have a good turnout? Was it a good deal? I know you guys have fun doing it. Olds for old folks. Well, that's me. I'm old. I'm kind of retired, Cindy. I don't drive a whole lot anymore. Been there, done that. I started in 1979, so I don't owe anybody any miles or anything like that. I did mine. And my son runs our company now. He runs the brokerage part, and I buy and sell trucks, and I play around in the shop, and I go. I truck when I want to. I still know how. I still do it. I love trucking. I love the deal. That little deal we got up to Minnesota and back. To me, it just doesn't get any sweeter than that. I mean, I've only got one city to go through to get there and back, and it's kind of wide open road and great places to eat. My dad cousins and hubby drive. When I say you marry your father, I did. I get it. My dad drove, and all my uncles and cousins. 1040C was good. Turnout could have been better. Well, I couldn't tell how many. I tried to see, because I do shit like that, Todd, which I count shit. I mean, that's my head. I don't know. I don't know if more. Sometimes more doesn't make it better, because I know that the people that you had involved in that love each other, and that's a big deal, man. Getting a bunch of truck drivers together that consider themselves family in this day and age is an accomplishment. I don't care who you are, so I admire that. I admire it. I would love to go. It's just not. For one, I don't have a truck right now. I got one, but it's not something I want to. That's not something I want to spend a week on the mall in, or getting to it and back. I had to build one. We were talking about that. I usually try not to go over 10 hours drive time so I can recap instead of do a 34. If my memory is correct. How is Frank Jr.? He's great. Frank's good. He stays busy all the time. He's great. Thanks for asking. He gets on here with me sometimes when I can get him to, but he runs the office and he runs the company, runs the business, and he stays pretty busy. I start talking about building a truck. He hates that. He doesn't want me gone anymore. He wants me right around here where he can get to me if he wants to. Anyway, Todd, back to your 10-4 thing. What a great looking group, man. I mean, that was cool. Next year, I gotta have something to drive. I'm not coming up there in my pickup truck. I ain't doing that. I'm not coming up there, in a camper or my motorhome. No. If I come up there, I want to be in truck mode. My trucking head, you know what I'm talking about. Enjoyed the show. Just pulled into the garage. I'm losing reception. Well, thanks. Thanks for coming. I'm going to hang up and get out of here. It's been almost an hour. No. The 50 Strong was the best group. Electric car. Oh, dumb car. I don't have an electric car yet. Here's the deal. We've got a house in Daytona. We live in Nashville, Tennessee, and we got a house in Daytona. Two of my sons live in Florida. And we bought that house when we got married, and we still have it. And so we go down there, and we go fishing, throw a tag on something, doesn't matter what it is. I'll work on it. I'll work on that. I will. Fuck that electric shit. Listen, anyway. Still love when you drove G's around Nashville. That was a good time. Yeah, we had fun that week. I'll pick you up, Frank. All right. I'll go. I'd love to go. Anyway, house in Nashville, house in Daytona Beach. Well, any electric car that they build right now would only make it to about Macon. So that's how I judge. I know it's bad. That's how I judge what I might or might not buy. I own part of a car lot, so I buy cars all the time. I was on the auction yesterday and bought a bunch of cars. But, I look at these things, and I actually looked at that electric Ford pickup truck. And I thought, well, it won't make it to Daytona. When I leave for Daytona, I only stop for, gas and roller dogs, and I keep going. All the day cars are the best. Yeah. Well, anyway, I thought, well, maybe I'll buy one of those Ford pickup trucks and then go over to Lowe's and get one of those little generators and put it in the back. And then I could drive all the way to Daytona on about 38 cents worth of gas. And If you can't make it from Nashville to Daytona, I can't. I don't want to buy it. That's not for me. We had a Kenworth 100th anniversary T680 and trailer on the National Mall with us. Did that 680 have a Cummins or a PACCAR in it? I don't like PACCARs. And I don't like the new Detroits. I don't like them. I don't like them. And you know why I don't like them. You can't overhaul them. People will tell you that they do. They don't. Because you cannot cut the counterbores. And if you can't cut the counterbores in a motor, I don't care who you are or what you think you know. If you don't cut the counterbores when you overhaul a motor, you're going to rebuild that motor again soon. PACCAR junk. Oh, I had a Cummins. I pulled a Cummins out of a truck yesterday, sitting in a shop. You can boat to Daytona. I have a boat in Daytona. That's where I go fishing and hang out with my boys. Cummins, yeah, that would be cool. And I think those 680s are pretty cool. I looked at them the first day they came out. Well, here's a story, and then I'll let you guys go. But I bought the very first ever T600 I ever saw. We were living in Indiana at the time, many years ago. Cummins ISX and my Volvo. Love this truck. Yeah. That's a great truck. We were coming back from California one morning, on Saturday morning, and going around the loop in Indianapolis. I lived in Muncie at the time, and I was driving a Peterbilt, and a buddy of mine was driving a Freightliner Hoods. We were hauling produce, and we had been talking, all week about these new anteaters. The anteaters. I got to see one of them. I want to see one of them. Yeah, that's some bullshit. So when we come around the loop in Indianapolis, we can put an M14 in a Tesla. We could. You got to help me wire it. I'm not scared of building the mounts, but you're gonna have to help me wire that son of a bitch, because that'd be a nightmare. Anyway, coming around the loop in Indianapolis on the top end of the loop, where's Kenworth is up there. And I looked down in there, I said, God damn, I think they've got one. I think they've got one of those anteaters. So we jumped off of the ramp and came around and went. It was Saturday morning. It was like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And we pulled in there, and it was brown. That truck was brown and yellow. It's the first T600 I ever saw in my life. Never seen one. I also helped wiring my husband's Harley. It's fun. I love my Harley. Anyway, I walked around it. And the guy came out there, and he said, that's that new truck there. Well, yeah, I can tell, Walked around. I climbed up in it and looked around. And it was the ugliest thing I had ever seen. I mean, you got to imagine, this is when they first came out. Nobody's seen them. They weren't out on the road or anything. And here's this slope-nosed looking, damn funny looking, stupid thing. And I told the salesman, I said, well, I got to have it. I bought it. He said, well, you can trade that Pete. I said, no. We're going to keep the Pete, but I want that truck. And I bought it. And they had it ready to go for me like by the next Thursday. And I made my first trip to California and back in it. And I drove that truck for probably, a year and a half. That was cool. That was a cool truck. I drove it for a year and a half. Then you started seeing them all over the place. So it wasn't cool anymore after that. I had a red top in my 99 Volvo. Love that truck. They're great. But, they're fun trucks. I don't know what I'm going to do this time. It's not going to be a Pete. Been there, done that. I've been to that dance way too many times. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Might be something really different. Might be. And it's not going to be a straight truck. No. Because I got to be able to pull my trailers and stuff. I need something big enough to do that. It's been an hour, guys. Man, I hate keeping you guys long. Get in your sweet spot, get in your groove. If you need help and I can help, call me. And I know a lot of people that'll help. Everybody in this group will help you. If you need help, call. Get some help. Autocar. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I'll tell you what I've got out in the back, way back in the back 40. I've got two T2000s back there. One of them originally had a Caterpillar in it, and I used it on a Peterbilt, and the other one had a Detroit in it. So they're both all wired up, and really all I'd have to do is paint them out and, take them, sand them out, paint them out, redo everything to put them out there. But it might be fun to see if I could get one of those things to get about 11 or 12 miles to the gallon. That might be fun for me. And still run. It would still have to run. Anyway, guys, have a great week. If you need help, call and ask. That's what we're here for. That's what we do with everybody. I want a nice Coronado. Coronados are nice. The one I had was a sweet, sweet truck. It really was. You could drive that truck 800-900 miles and it didn't hurt you. You weren't tired. What a nice truck. It was. It was a lot of fun. Badass cab over? No, been there, done that. I'm from the old school where we used to have, all of us had cab overs. That's all we had back in the day. That's why I limp. That's why my fucking back hurts. No, I don't want a cab over. I know for one for sale. PM me. With what for sale? Oh, you're talking about that. You're still talking about the Coronado. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I love you. Mean it. I do. Come back next week. We'll find something else. Get in that sweet spot. If you need help finding one, call me, and I will help you. I will do my best. But have a great week. Everybody have a great week. Be good to each other. Look out for each other. Take good care of each other. That's what we're here for. Nice, Cindy. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to our show. I love having you. I appreciate it. Have a great week, everybody. It's Tuesday night. Get out there and have some fun. Get in that sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? Sweet, sweet spot. Have a great week.